There are new concerns over the possibility of another Solyndra-like controversy occurring. As we've been reporting, the solar energy company was hailed a success, the similar success by the Obama administration, the stimulus program we're talking about, receiving more than $500 million worth of federal loans and firing thousands of workers and then filing for bankruptcy. Well, now there are new fears that billions of dollars being allocated right now as part of President Obama's clean energy program may turn into poor investments. Adam Geller is a GOP pollster for New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Kirsten Powers, Daily Beast columnist, and a Fox News contributor. Good to see both of you.
Good to see you, Arthel.
All right, Kirsten, let me talk to you first about this Washington Post story. Apparently, the Energy Department has made conditional commitments for 14 projects. We're talking about $9.3 billion to allocate over the next 2 weeks. So I ask you, in light of what's happening here with the Solyndra scandal, if you will, should the Department of Energy hold on to this $9.3 billion, or should they stay the course and award the money?
Well, you have to remember that the Solyndra situation, which is problematic for a lot of different reasons, only represented about 1% of DOE's overall money that they were spending. So most of the things that they have funded have done very well. This is the only one that we've really heard about that's been problematic. So I don't think that they necessarily need to not go ahead with funding because 1% of their overall portfolio did badly.
Do you see it that way, Adam?
I do not see it that way at all. I think that this is a big problem, and I think that when we think about $500 million, it's one thing. That was the money that went to Solyndra. Now we're talking about $9 billion. These things start to add up. We're talking about essentially giving away $9 billion in taxpayer-backed money over the course of the next 2 weeks. In light of the scandal, from an economic standpoint, from a business standpoint, and certainly from a political standpoint, it makes no sense to continue on with this. The administration should say, you know what, time out. We were burned on Solyndra. We're going to slow this down, and we're going to look at the books and give perhaps private sector economists, heck, maybe bring in some people from the Bush administration to look at the books. After all, the Bush administration rejected the loan to Solyndra in the last couple of weeks of that administration.
Okay, here's the thing. The Bush administration didn't do it. It was a credit committee made up of civil servants, and it was the exact same committee that approved the loan application later. So this is a lot of political posturing,
but wait a minute, Kirsten,
by Republicans
claiming
that like the Bush administration somehow saw that something was wrong with Solyndra,
Kirsten,
when in fact
the Obama administration is blaming Bush. This is what they're doing. That's the talking point.
No,
Adam, let me jump in here.
What you just said was inaccurate.
Let me jump in here because we're talking about $500 million worth of taxpayers' money that went to Solyndra, and now they turned around and fired 1,100 workers, and they filed for bankruptcy shortly thereafter, after getting the money. So, as you know, the president has put a lot of energy behind creating green jobs and to develop clean energy technology. So I ask you, considering the Solyndra scandal, does this impact the president's efforts? Because taxpayers don't care if it's 1% of a program or 10% of a program.
Well, they should care because it matters. And second of all, the Bush administration created this program. So, I mean, that's what's so ridiculous about this.
What does that have to do with what I just asked you, the situation at hand? So please answer my question directly.
Well, I am answering your question directly. The point is, it wasn't just Obama who saw that this was important to invest in it. It was also the Bush administration. This is an area that we're getting beat on by other countries, namely China, where we do need to be having investment into renewable energies, into clean energy. This is a bipartisan thing. When I say the Bush administration did it, it was good that they did it.
Adam, I want to direct this carefully because I do want to pick up there what Kirsten's saying, and I want to ask you specifically, Adam, if you agree with the president's plan and his strategy to lessen U.S. reliance on imported oil, and also to, as Kirsten's saying, to develop technology industry so that we're not left behind by other countries.
Okay, so here's the answer, Arthel. It's plain and simple. If we want to lessen our dependence on foreign energy, let's start drilling off our coast. That's number one. Number two, here's the problem. There is a crony capitalism afoot here. There's the green lobby. You know, you look at the people behind Solyndra, it's George Kaiser, a huge Obama supporter. They get the money. Wait a minute. Now, let me, this is a very, very important, point.
Adam,
here's what happens. The loan is restructured when they figure out that Solyndra's in trouble. So guess what? The investors, the campaign contributors get their money back. Who doesn't get their money back? Taxpayers.
Okay.
We're left holding the bag. That's a problem.
Got it, Adam. I'm out of time, but in fairness to Kirsten, I want to give you 20 seconds. Go ahead.
I just really think that this is being hyper-politicized, and that the areas that are concerning have nothing to do with whether or not this is a good program. It is a good program. It was a good program when Bush started it. It's a good program when Obama has continued it. The issues that people need to be looking at is what was the Obama administration in this situation pressuring people to move forward with the program. That's the question. But this is a good program, and to talk about let's just stop all the money that's going out.
That's the question,
crazy.
Kirsten, and I'm sure that they will continue to try to get some answers as to what happened there and should the program move forward. Kirsten Powers, Adam Geller, I got to run, but thank you very much.
It's been used and abused. Take care.
A lot to cover in a short amount of time. Sorry about that, guys. We'll talk to you next time.